everyone, welcome back. I'm back at my own base, my main base. Of course, I have not worked on anything on my main base yet. I'm still yet to work on it. It looks like a box right now. But yeah, as discussed in my last video, I was planning on unlocking the next aeronautical engineering and advanced aluminium production, so that I'm planning to get more alternate recipes for supercomputers. So that's the only thing which is left out right now. I think yeah, I can make factory for this, but the default recipe is really bad. It's really unoptimized, like I mean, yeah, it's really inefficient, basically, the default recipe. So I would like to unlock some more tiers so that I can unlock some alternate recipes, because I have completely exhausted all alternate recipes possible, and I did not find one for supercomputers. So I can unlock this since I have already made the radio control unit factory. I can unlock this. I can't unlock this because this requires supercomputers. I can unlock this. I cannot unlock this, and I cannot unlock this. So I'm hoping with me unlocking advanced aluminium production, I can unlock all alternate recipes. In the meantime, I'll also just unlock drones because, yeah, sure, why not, right? So yeah, so today, that's the plan. So I have already gotten all the materials. Let's just unlock drones first. So that's the first milestone. Tier 8, first milestone. What? Wait, I did not.
Milestone reached. Drones provide automated low-capacity aerial transport between drone stations. Stations need to be supplied with any kind of fuel for the drones to function. Fixit had several restrictions in place prohibiting creative use of drones. I have since removed those because I think no pioneer would ever misuse Fixit property right under their noses. Especially since everything is recorded.
Yes, definitely. You will not misuse it. Okay, but this was really interesting. So when I clicked on this select milestone and clicked on that button, there was like a hand basically like clicking on that button. I never saw that animation before. Maybe it was there right from the beginning, but I never noticed it. So this was my first time. Anyway, so drones are done. So that will help us get some materials from like far away remote places, but I don't think I'll ever use that in my playthrough. Probably at the very end of my playthrough, I'll probably put up like two drone ports or 3 maximum. That's it. The thing is, you need to get batteries and stuff, right, for the drone ports. I don't know. Maybe it will take functions as home port, which okay. Maybe it will take other types of fuel. They have changed a lot of stuff in 1.0, so maybe it will take other types of fuel. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's only batteries and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I'll wait for the pod to come back, and once it's back, let's unlock the next milestone. Okay, so the pod is back. Let's unlock the next milestone, which is advanced aluminium production. This will give me so many different things. Cannibal resource water. Basically, there are like fissures on the ground where you can put these resource well pressurizers and you can just get water. This is extremely useful if there is no water body nearby. Then you can do this. If not, water extractor is always the go-to source for water. I don't think anyone ever uses resource well pressurizer. Sometimes you'll bring water even from far away, even though there is like a nearby water fissure, right? Scannable resource crude oil. Yeah, this is really nice. Like crude oil from those fissures is nice. Nitrogen gas is a completely new resource that will get. That will probably get used in making one of these, I think. Oh, also, I think if alternate recipe exists for supercomputers, it will probably use one of these. It can't use this because it's maybe no, it can use this. It can. Yeah, I was thinking this is a space elevator part, but it's not. So it can use either of these 3 as one of its alternate recipes if it exists. If not, I'm not sure. I have no idea what to do if I don't get an alternate recipe. I might just try to brute force some of the other tiers trying to find the alternate recipe if that's the case. Anyway, now let's just unlock this. Now let's see, if I click on this, there is like a hand icon which comes, I think. No, it didn't. Wait, what? It only happens for
Milestone
the
reached.
first
The
one?
resource well
Interesting.
pressurizer and extractor can harvest nitrogen, crude oil, and water from underground wells. Nitrogen, being a gas, does not need pumps for pipeline transportation.
Wait, what?
Fixit does not process most of your metrics, but I do. According to Fixit predictions, you are exploiting this planet with unexpected efficiency. They did always struggle to see the true potential of things. Nothing about you is unexpected to me, and therefore you are performing exactly as expected.
Basically, I'm exploiting the planet at an incredibly fast pace. Anyway, so nitrogen is like a liquid. No, nitrogen is a gas, right? So it makes sense that you don't need pumps. Yeah. So, okay, so transport of nitrogen gas is actually extremely easy then. If you don't need pumps, you can just get it from faraway places. But with water, you need to build like a water tower if you're going too far. But with nitrogen, I guess you don't need pumps. You can just transport it. I had forgotten about that. That was there even in early access, but I had just forgotten. So, okay. Anyway, so I have gotten everything. Now it's just time for me to start unlocking some alternate recipes and hope I hit the supercomputer recipe. And once I hit that, I'll start making some blueprints for that and build a factory for supercomputer. So that's my future project. Um, Once that is done, I'll build more factories for these three, basically heatsink, cooling system, and fuse modular frames. Then I can unlock this. I can unlock this. I can unlock this. So many different things that I can unlock. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm back at my base. So we unlocked the next couple of milestones, right, in tier 7. So we got this heat sinks and cooling system. So now I was planning on building some heatsink and cooling system factory blueprints before I built the actual factories. And before that, I went ahead and scoured some alternate recipes. So right now I have unlocked every single recipe possible, and I did get some alternate recipes, some really, really cool alternate recipes. So first, let's just go through that. So the main thing that I was looking at was supercomputers because the basic recipe is just really, really inefficient. It needs so many resources to make just a little bit of supercomputer. So I wanted some alternate recipes. I hit this, I think, at the last but one like research. I am so happy I hit this. But yeah, this is basically taking like radio control units and cooling system and gives me supercomputers. And the ratios are also really, really nice. So it's just 2:1 ratio from each of these, which is really nice. And the best thing about it is I had already made a blueprint for radio control unit, and this blueprint is actually making 3 radio control units, which is like the perfect number that I need to make supercomputers. So I was really lucky that it coincided. So this supercomputer, so I have a blueprint which makes 3 radio control units. So basically, if I want 3 supercomputers, I can just plop two of these blueprints down. That's it, and that'll be done. But the thing is, I am yet to make a blueprint for cooling systems. So so I started working on that. So let's just take a look at cooling systems. The cooling system, it has only 2 recipes. I unlocked the alternate recipe. So I know everything that I want because I have already unlocked all the alternate recipes possible for this. It's not like supercomputers, right, where there is one more alternate recipe which I don't know if I can unlock yet. I mean, I cannot unlock it just yet, but in the future I will unlock it, and that might be even better. Who knows, right? But that's not the case for cooling system. I have everything. And both of these recipes, I was taking a look at it. These two recipes are really, really interesting. And the reason I say this is because some of the other recipes where the default recipe is just flat out inefficient, right? But this recipe is not the same because the number of cooling systems you get is roughly the same. Heat sinks is also roughly the same. You're basically using the same amount of heat sinks. So if I just do this 5, you can see 10 heat sinks, 10 heat sinks. So there is no change over there, right? So 10 per minute gives you 5, 10 per minute gives you 5. Of course, if you look at the ratios, I guess, this is 2:1, this is 4:2. So basically the same, 2:1. But the other thing is this takes in water, like the default recipe takes in water. Water is an abundant resource, default resource. If it's there, it's good in the recipe. It can replace anything. So water and rubber is basically replacing mortar here. And mortar takes in a lot of iron or iron and quartz. So that's how you make mortars, right? So I mean, you can even make it, you can even have a bit of copper in there. It depends on the recipes that you use. But if you don't want to use mortar, you can use rubber and water. Rubber is just like a resource that it's like a natural resource itself because you will have a different rubber plant. So all you need to do is belt rubber from there. So basically these two are raw inputs. And then nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas, this is 125 per minute, this is 60 per minute. So this default recipe uses a lot of nitrogen, but this doesn't. But again, nitrogen is a default resource. Like you just get it. There is no factory that you need to build to get it. So it's interesting. So the first recipe goes for ease of access. Everything is easy to access. Water is easy, nitrogen is easy, rubber is easy, and then the only thing you are left out is heatsink. But the bottom one, nitrogen is easy, but both mortar, like heatsink, of course, you have to do like the one before, but mortar, you have to build proper factory for this. So that's the drawback that you have. So I was debating between these for so long. I was thinking, sometimes I used to feel like, okay, maybe let me use the default recipe. Then I was like, no, let me use the second one because this uses less nitrogen, and I don't know how much of nitrogen will be used in the future, right? For the later things, because I saw the fuse modular frames, this also needs nitrogen, and I have a feeling that all of the later stuff will need nitrogen in it. And assembly director system basically needs supercomputers. So cooling system needs nitrogen, and cooling system is used in supercomputer. So basically supercomputer needs nitrogen. If the space assembly part needs nitrogen, then yeah, basically nitrogen is needed. And I'm not sure how much nitrogen is present in this world. So I mean, definitely I won't use up everything, but still I want nitrogen to be near me. Like if it is somewhere, like for example, this is my map. If the nitrogen is somewhere all the way to the north over here, I don't want that. That's out of my reach. I mean, I will probably still belt it, but still pipe it, but I don't want that to happen. So for that reason, I was just thinking and pondering, and finally decided to go with the second recipe. So this is the recipe I chose. The numbers are really good. Even the nitrogen number is really good, which is also something nice. Like if I underclock this to 5, oh, first of all, I need this to be 3, right? I want this number to be 3, by the way, because of supercomputer. If we go to the supercomputer recipe, so 3 supercomputers need 6 cooling systems. So it needs to be a multiple of 3, basically, the recipe that I use. So this is like 0.5, right? Which is also fine. So I can just plop 2 of these blueprints down. If it is 3 per minute cooling system, I can just plop 2 of these blueprint down for like 3 supercomputers. So I want this to be like multiples of 3. So when it is 3, the numbers at the top and the bottom both are roughly not that good, but still I went with the bottom one. 6 rubber per minute. I mean, you can't really balance that. You'll just get 60 rubber per minute and just put it in there. But yeah, I finally decided with the bottom one, but irrespective of which one you choose, I don't think there's a wrong answer over here, because both of these recipes are really good. I don't see specific advantage of one recipe over the other. This is the first time in this entire game playthrough that I went through where the major things, right? Not like a very simple resource, something like wire or something. I don't care about that. But some late game stuff, like something like this, where there were 2 recipes and most of the recipes has clear advantage over the other. But this is not the case. These 2 recipes are really interesting. So yeah, so I went ahead with the second one. I made it 3 and I started working with this. So the first thing is heatsink. So if I go to heatsink, there are 2 recipes. One takes in alclad sheets, the other takes in copper. By the way, I need 6 in both of these. So if I just underclock this, so this needs 30 and this needs 18 aluminum casings, 18 rubber versus 18 copper sheets. I'm fine with rubber because I already have a factory, massive factory. I can just belt it, it's fine. Casings versus alkali sheets. So when I calculated the amount of aluminum being consumed in both of these, it's like 3 or 4 aluminum more in one of these, like in the second one versus the first one. But the thing is, in order to make alclad aluminum sheets, you need copper. You need to bring in copper and do that. So for that reason, I just went with the second recipe. I just went with aluminum casing because you can do it just with aluminum sheets, like aluminum ingots. But the alclad sheets, you need aluminum ingot plus copper ingot, which I don't want to deal with. And also you need copper sheets, which again needs copper, right? I don't want to deal with copper over there. So I just went with the second recipe, easy to do. Rubber, it's already done, so I don't have to worry about that, and I went with that. So heat sinks are done. Now, what is the next part? So the next part is motors. 1.5 motors. So then I was like, okay, motors are fine. It's easy because I already have a blueprint. But then I checked the blueprint and I didn't have a motor. This is a new blueprint which I just did, right? But before this, I did not have a blueprint for motor, which was surprising because I really thought I had a blueprint for motor, but I did not. And one of the reasons I had decided not to do that is because if we go to the blueprint of motor, so I was using this recipe, which just takes in rotor plus stator, gives me motor. Rotor, I have a blueprint. Stator, I don't, because again, I thought it's all simple resources. Maybe I don't need a blueprint, so I never did one. So I did not have a blueprint for this, which was surprising. So I wanted to make a blueprint for this. I wanted to build a proper blueprint for motors, and I think I went with the first recipe because the second recipe needs quartz. I don't want to deal with quartz because crystal oscillator needs quartz, right? One of these needs quartz and iron, I think. I think cable needs copper, yeah. The second one needs rubber, and this is a mess. So I don't want to deal with that. So I just went with the first one. A simple rotor, simple stator. This entire rotor can be done with iron. Entire stator can be done with iron. Both of these. So basically this entire motor can be done with iron. So with that in mind, I went ahead and built this blueprint, which takes in 90 iron ore, raw iron ore, gives me 1.5 motor. And I have perfectly balanced this to make sure I can use that in my cooling system recipe. So if I do this 3, it needs 1.5 motors. So it's perfect. So that motor recipe, I made it in mind keeping this specific recipe in mind, so that in the future, when you're building one after the other, right, like multiple blueprints, you need numbers to match. If not, it will be a huge hassle. So this number matches with supercomputers, these number matches with cooling system, everything. So this is perfect. So this is the blueprint I made. This is an awesome blueprint. And let me just go through that. So this is the blueprint. I was able to fit it in just one floor. I did not need to build multiple floors. I spent a lot of time balancing this. Honestly, if I go here, it might look a little bit complicated, but it's not. It's actually pretty simple. So the 90 iron ore is the input over here, right? So 90 iron ore goes there, makes into 30 iron ingots, 30 iron ingots, 30 iron ingots. Very simple. So this and this 30 iron ingots is being combined over here, which is 60 iron ingots, and is going into this steel pipes. So 60, again, this is underclock, 60 iron ingots, 15 steel pipes. This 15 steel pipes is going into a heavy balancer. This is a very, very heavy balancing. So basically first it basically is 2:3 balancer. So basically it's splitting it to 5, and 2 of the outputs are again being combined, and the 3 of the other outputs are being combined. So basically you get like a 2:3 ratio. The reason I want that is because this 15 steel pipes, I'm splitting it into 6 and 9 steel pipes. I need 6 steel pipes for one for rotor, and 9 steel pipes for stator, something like that. So for that reason, there is this complicated balancing. At the bottom, it's basically giving me 6 over there, that's the output. At the top, that's the 9 steel pipes, that's the output. So that's the balancer which is happening over here. But yeah, I think I have already gone through like a 1:5 splitter, and I just modified that a little bit to make 2:3 splitter basically. So it's there in one of my previous videos if anyone of you is interested in that. But yeah, so that's that part. And then coming here, this is 30 iron ingots. So here, this I overclocked it because I need 24 wire, and this I underclocked it because I need 18 wire. So proper amount of stuff will go to each, and once that is done, this 18 wire is going in here to rotors. So this rotor is getting 6 steel pipe and 18 wire and giving me 3 rotors. Then this stator is taking 9 steel pipes and 24 wire, giving me 3 stators. So this is giving me 3 stators, this is giving me 3 rotors. Both of the outputs are being brought here into this assembler, which is giving me 1.5 motors. So input here, output there. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I was able to perfectly balance it. I was fiddling with numbers quite a bit. I really wanted to make it perfect. I wanted the numbers, like the input numbers and the output numbers, to somewhat make sense, because I don't want numbers something like the input iron ore required is like 100, for example. Like that, I don't want that. It's so difficult for me to get 100 iron ore, right? I have to bring in more than 100, but 90, I can bring exactly 90 if I want it. So yeah, so this is a simple motor blueprint. Um, yeah, and the most complicated part over in this blueprint is probably this, basically the 1:5 splitter, and then getting converted into 2:3 splitter, right? So that part is probably the most complicated, but apart from that, everything else is pretty simple. And this is a simple motor blueprint that I built, and I'll be using this. I stored this as one of the blueprints over here, and I'll be using this to make a cooling system blueprint, which I'll go through next. But yeah, but for now, I think this will be it. I just took a lot of time just making all of this. So yeah, in the next part, I think I'll go through the cooling system blueprint, and I'll probably also showcase the cooling system factory. I'll probably have built it by that, and I'll show the cooling system factory, um, the even the supercomputer factory probably. But yeah, but that'll be for the future. For now, yeah, the motor blueprint is done. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm glad about it. Yeah. With that, thank you everyone. See you guys next time. Bye.